Everybody has smiles going. Good morning.
Can you say more?
All right. Well, you girls are on.
Excellent. So we're going to just jump right in.
Let's do that.
I think you all know who we are, so we're going to just jump right in.
The internet may not know.
Oh, the internet.
The
may not know.
internet.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm Mary Lou Novak, and I'm the owner of Mid-South Home Helpers and founder of Resource for Care Staffing.
I'm Kelly Inman with Next Day Access. I just told you who I was.
And I'm Leanne Morse with All Things New. We just help people downsize and make transitions from one home to another.
And we run in the same circles. Often, if I'm caring for a family and I notice they need ways to get in and out of their home or stay safe in their home, or vice versa, you refer people to me. And I'm regularly referring people to who are downsizing. I think you just finished one of our clients recently.
Yeah.
So in working together in that way, we came up with something that has come up very often, especially lately. And we thought it would be great to share it with you all today. Now, if you are all here and a part of Talk Shop or even watching Talk Shop on the internet, we know that you already embody this. So this is we're not here to teach you anything per se, but we are here to share. And we do want to take the time during this time of fear and friction. That's kind of what we describe it. And you can, no matter what your beliefs are, or your, religious or political or otherwise, it's a time of fear and friction for everyone. So we wanted to take a minute and we wanted to pause and share our topic today. So can I get everyone to take a minute and just pause and take a deep breath together? Can we do that? Breathe in and just breathe out. Thank you. So
That felt so good.
I know, right?
Can we do that one?
Sure, let's do it again. Breathe in and just let it go. So we are here today to share that there is a place for grace in business. I know our flyer said or asked the question whether there was,
Yeah.
but we're here to say there is, and you all embody it already.
Yes.
So we've put together a little sharing today
Mhm.
so that we can all pause and think about grace and how we show up in the world. So the first three up here I'm going to mention and just describe what they mean a little bit. So seek first to understand before being understood. I wish I could say this is an original thought, but as we know, it's a Franklin Covey thought, and it is not always one that's easy to do. So understanding what is running through someone, or why they might be showing up the way they are, or why they might be reacting to something first before we are seeking to express ourselves, goes a really long way to reduce that friction. And it also allows us to be listening with open ears. And I know that sounds strange, but if we're talking or listening and waiting to speak our next word, we're not really listening, are we? So if you're looking to seek first to understand before you express yourself, then you can maybe modify how you or what you say. The second one is treating others as if they are innocent.
That's a hard one.
That is hard, especially if it's someone that causes that fear or friction on a regular basis, because all they have to do is show up or give you a look or say a certain phrase, and automatically you reverse in time to a time where they last gave you some, as my grandmother would say, she's Irish, agita. So
How do you spell that?
How do you spell it?
I don't know,
Say that again.
it's a Irish New Jersey term. So treating others as if they are innocent means that we consciously wipe the slate. We consciously say, I'm not going to let past behaviors or interactions dictate how I show up and the grace that I give this person in front of me right now.
And I think that's a daily thing.
It is,
When you work with people in your office or
sure, your husband or your
Or your
wife,
husband.
right?
Yes, it's a daily
Children.
clean your slate.
Exactly.
Clean their slate.
The next was brought to my attention and maybe it's because I'm from New Jersey, it was brought to my attention that there's a thing called nonviolent communication. And what that means is not that you're violent, but that the words you choose or the tone that you choose can cause friction. And if you choose to judge the outcome of what something happened, so let's say we walked in and I said hello to everyone except for Suzanne, and Suzanne was feeling, what, is there something wrong? I mean,
I didn't wear my hat today.
I didn't wear my hat today, maybe she doesn't
She didn't
recognize
like
me,
me.
right? So when she approaches me, instead of saying, instead of saying you're rude, or you were rude to me today, she might express, I was feeling left out. So what it means is to communicate what you need personally or how you're feeling personally, rather than putting a judgment to it. It just because I didn't say hello doesn't make me rude. It could be that I have a lot going on. It could be, there could be a lot of things. So that's the first three.
Okay, so now we'll do the second set of three. And the fourth one is grace values people and not things. In business, grace is helping your customer feel good about their decision. So an example that comes to mind with this is the clients that I'm working with right now. They're moving into a senior living facility, and one of them wants to go and the other one does not. And so they are having a really hard time, number one, deciding what to take because they've lived in their house for over 40 years. And number two, one of them resistant that they just don't want to do it. They don't want to go. They don't want to make the decisions. They think if they don't make the decisions somehow, maybe they won't have to leave their home. And so working with them in situations and helping them understand that the things do need to be packed. We are going to have to move. I can't wait till the last day and pack 50 boxes because it won't happen. So I, try to tell them, see your house now as a hotel room, not your home, that you're on vacation. The things that you want to take with you, we need to pack up so that they'll be there when you get there. But if you hesitate and you wait too long, then all of those things are going to cause a lot of chaos that last day. But communicating it gracefully to them and helping them grasp the idea is my goal. And I try to explain it to them, because I've been through the situation, that you're going to make it and this is going to be okay, but we do have to push forward. And then, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, grace expresses loudly what you are thankful for versus being a pushy salesman. So that's really hard too, because I don't want them to think that I'm there just to make some money to pack their stuff. I'm there to help them move through this transition, and it's hard. They're experiencing so many traumatic things, giving up a home that they've lived in, giving up things that they've accrued their whole life, making adjustments with their family, coming to the realization that they're not going to need the things that they had in the past because they can't do those things anymore, like cooking. Like you probably won't take a nice mixer that you really loved because you're probably not going to be making the things you used to make. But the positive is you're going to live in an environment where your meals are provided. You're going to get to socialize with lots of people that live there on the facility with you. And so there's lots of new things coming. And you just have to give up a few things to make this happen. And so again, extending that grace and helping them understand that this is just a transition and we've moved before, it's just a different kind of move. And then the number 6 is grace creates an atmosphere of positivity, not only in business, but in others. And that again kind of ties into what I was just saying, is that it's going to be a positive experience. I mean, you're going to meet lots of people. The couple I moved in just a few weeks ago, when we were unboxing their items, they had people coming in their door anxious to meet them, couldn't wait to see them at dinner, so excited to have some new residents and to share some new experiences. And one of them had done a lot of woodworking in his past. Well, they have a woodworking shop. And so he's excited to be able to go back and do that, but not have the responsibility of taking care of all that equipment anymore. So the positive things that are coming through the transition is what we try to focus on. And in that positive experience, you also will see, like she says, the face becomes softer and they begin to realize that this is going to be something that is easier than they originally thought.
And I think people can pick up on if you're genuinely positive or if you're faking positive.
Yeah.
That's a pushy salesman.
Yeah. So the next two.
Okay, so I have the next two, but I'm going to tell a story before I talk about mine. I'm going to protect the innocent. Oh, sorry. Hi. Sorry. Okay.
You're gonna talk to us out here too. Thanks.
Who do I look at? Okay, so I was telling Ben this morning that you have to have a lot of grace just to drive in Memphis traffic. I live in Arlington and I try to get to the Clark Tower in 30 minutes and it's raining. And I was listening to a preacher. I had to turn it down to like bless people out. Then I turn it back up. I'm like, ah! But anyway, so daily grace right there. But I'm going to protect the innocent.
We all had similar stories.
We did, because the Lord will always test you when you're speaking about that topic. But so my story is, and this really did happen. I'm not making it up. So I'm going to tell, her name is Mrs. Jones. So Mrs. Jones called our office on a Saturday. We're not open on Saturday. So we got the message on Monday. So we called her on Monday and she said, I called 2 days ago. Why haven't you reached out to me yet? I'm like, it's Monday. And she said, you are next day access and you should have called me the next day. And I'm like, that's Sunday. Okay. So we get her on the schedule. She needs a wheelchair ramp. So we get her on the schedule and we didn't call her the next day to follow up like we should have. So she called us back and said, y'all are pathetic, but I still need a wheelchair ramp, but I don't like y'all, but I still need. And so we just kept pressing forward. And it was really hard because she was really very ugly and mocking our admin girl. And it was a terrible situation. And I just kept saying, okay, well, we'll be there. We will be there. Well, we were going to install on Friday. And guess what happened Friday? There's thunder and lightning all over the Mid-South.
Aren't your ramps made out of metal?
They're aluminum.
Not a good mix.
Aluminum and lightning. We like our installers. So. We were like, so we called her and we said, we're so sorry. We are so sorry. And then she just berated us again. I don't know her situation. I don't know if
we're going to discuss
she
what
has
we might do.
Dementia. I don't know if her husband, I don't know what situation she's in. So we just tried to be above reproach. So she calls first thing, 8:01 on Monday morning, she calls to make sure she's on the schedule. And why isn't she first? She wanted to be first on the schedule because we worked her in on Monday afternoon. So I was like, well, they were already booked. No, you should have put me. This is Monday morning. I'm like, oh my goodness. So we worked her in on Monday afternoon. And she just kept saying, even when y'all install this ramp, I'm leaving a bad review. And I'm so sorry to hear that. I didn't say what I wanted to say, but I was like, yes, absolutely. Please leave us a bad review. That's what keeps us in business. But we just kept, pushing through. And I'll tell the end of the story in a minute. But number 6 says, or 7, whatever that number is, showing grace in the sales world means that you find a solution for their problem. That's what I kept going back to. I am finding a solution. There is something going on in her life. I'm not going to take it personal, even though I wanted to, because it was really hurting our feelings. We were like, wow, we're going to get you whether you're nice or not, but it could be nice. Because it's easy to show grace when it's easy. When they call in, we schedule the appointment, they love us, and we install what they want us to install, and then they leave a great review, and we make money. And that's all, easy to show grace then. But in this situation, so anyway, we had to find a solution for a problem. And then I really kept going back to being honest and ethical. It didn't matter what she didn't matter what she was putting on our company. We were going to still be who we were. We were next day access, and we were going to serve her, period. So how would you guys have handled, anybody out there. How would you guys have handled that?
What are some of the graces that we talked
Yeah.
about that could have been put into place to deal with it?
Most people want to be heard.
Mhm.
For those of you that can't hear, Miranda said listening.
Listening. Mm-hmm.
Most people, she said, most people want to be heard.
Right.
Yes.
Apologizing
Right.
for her inconvenience, not for your not being able to be there because that wasn't your fault.
Right. I can't help.
Yeah, the comment was apologizing
Mhm. And we did profusely over
because it
and
couldn't
over
be
and
helped.
Yeah.
Right.
Troy?
Troy, you
I
want to
was
say
gonna
something?
When you were, how did the conversation go once you knew with the lightning in the area and that you weren't gonna go there? What was your?
Well, what do you think it should have been?
What I think it would have been done is because the day before, I'm not being critical, I mean,
No,
Right,
that's
yeah.
what we're here to
Okay.
talk about, yeah.
what I would have done the day before with the thunderstorms, et cetera, would have been an early call because we're expecting a lot of lightning, et cetera, in our area, and we're dealing with metal products. It's unsafe for our workers to go
Right.
out there, and I hope you understand.
And typically, that's what we do. We always watch the weather
Okay.
because
So
we
on
work
the
outside.
Thursday before the
So,
Friday,
yeah,
you call,
that
did you call her?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is a
You
great
can say
point.
we already have your back times.
Yeah.
set.
And in any other situation, we would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one just kept, it was just such a negative,
Well, it was,
negative,
and they were
negative.
pushing you to move faster than you would
Yeah, and she was
normally,
wanting
yeah.
it in, she wanted it now, she was
Yeah.
like, now.
Not that you,
So-
not that you replied for that reason, but you might have been on a fast track, which sometimes if you
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
some of the things
The
fall.
other thing
Yeah,
that I'll say about that, because being in the insurance business, the same thing, get customers that, we've got some customers, we just don't want insurance.
yeah,
But I think in this thing, when a lady is that demanding, requires a lot more attention, even though you don't want to give her all that special attention. And
yeah,
I think that once you just keep calling her, just want to keep you updated, the more if you have to make some extra phone calls, it kind of keeps her informed, and all of a sudden, it might relax her just a little bit
Right.
further when you've got to make a decision that she is not going to approve of, but that's just my thoughts on it.
Exactly.
We've been asked to repeat questions because
Okay.
sometimes people can't hear on Zoom. But the gist of what Troy was saying is to be more proactive about communicating because we already knew that the client was demanding and not happy from the get-go.
From the get,
So to communicate ahead of time.
overly communicate. We're all like, who's gonna
Yes,
call her? Who's gonna call
yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes,
But yeah, the attitude, like what you're saying, treat others as they're innocent.
Right.
Keep telling yourself.
Yeah, there's
like
gotta
you
be a
said.
situation going on that
Yeah.
I do not know about, and it's really none of my business, but I've gotta help this. I knew we got to help
yeah.
her.
Miranda mentioned, the number 1 or 2 about treating people innocent.
Yeah, and one of her remarks, even Kelly had shared with us, was that I gotta have my ramp today. I can't go one more day without my ramp. So something was going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I cannot
she
live
couldn't-
one more day without, she already called it her ramp.
Yeah.
My ramp, it's a ramp, it's my ramp. So,
Yeah.
so the end
So,
of this, so
yeah.
let me tell you the end of the
Well,
story.
I think,
I just
sorry.
want to say that I think you handled that very well, because my temptation would be saying, well, find somebody else to do it then. So I think you did very well.
Yeah.
Well,
just
don't
hanging
think
on
it
to
didn't
her.
come across my, but
Yeah.
they were like, no, we're gonna serve her, because I did not know the backstory, and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She had a need.
yes,
Just
Tom.
one more comment too. I think the fact that you had a certain philosophy in mind when you started this business.
Yeah.
You used the phrase, we were going to remain who we were
Yeah,
throughout this
Regardless,
process. And I think
regardless.
that's the biggest challenge, is for you to veer away from that commitment that we are who we are, despite the good and the bad. And I think that you did a good job of trying to stay the course, even though I think, as you're hearing, you might have done a few things differently, but
Exactly.
you gotta be who you are, and that's
You gotta
why
be
you are
authentic.
who you are, and I think you did a
Exactly.
good job of staying on the track.
Because most of our customers are, I mean, it's a crisis. You know, mom's
there's a
coming
health
home,
incident happening.
mom's
yeah.
coming home from rehab, and she can't get in the house unless,
Mary
and
Lou and
they're,
I understand that.
yeah, and then she's coming home today.
Exactly.
You know, and we've got to figure out how to help. So you always have to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Values.
Yeah, to,
Yeah,
well,
your
and,
core values.
and your core values, and to send an intention. You know, the intention is to show up a certain way and to provide a certain level attention and care, and that doesn't change.
Right. Regardless of
Regardless of the
the,
situation, it doesn't change.
we did not rise to her level of stress.
Mhm.
So, let me tell you the end of the
Real
story.
quick, can I say this?
Yes.
Does anyone online have any comments?
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, yeah.
we kind of lost them in the screen. Yeah.
Joe, can you see the?
Anybody online wanted to say anything?
I am looking, I'm.
I think Brett is raising his hand. Brett, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I was just going to suggest, after listening to the things that she said you did wrong, maybe ask her, well, what are the things that you liked about what we did? To maybe try to get her thinking in a more positive direction so that at least she won't completely discount the things that you did right.
In case you couldn't hear Brett was suggesting that Kelly could have redirected her thoughts and by asking her what things were done right or what things had happened the way that she had hoped, to try to get her thinking in a more positive way.
Focus on the positive. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
Anybody else?
asked to repeat all the questions, but I'm
You're doing a
I'm
good
doing
job.
what I'm doing
You're
what I
doing a
was
great
told.
job.
I don't. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else online? Since we
We've gotta
can't
hear
see
the
you
end.
guys
I don't
now.
think we have anybody else.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's hear the end of the
Okay,
story.
so when did we install? We installed
It's
it
called-
Tuesday. I told the guys, I don't care what is on your schedule. We will move everything around. We're gonna install Mrs. Jones's ramp today. So the guys worked until 7 o'clock that night to get her ramp complete, because it was a big ramp. And she was so happy, and she even tipped my installers, and she left us a good review.
Did you find out what was driving?
I didn't, the installers, they were just doing their job. They were there to install. They didn't really know the backstory. I didn't really want to, get their, get them heightened up for
It made it easier.
a possible
for-
fight.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
made it easier for them to treat her as innocent.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
did not know. They didn't know the backstory.
I think that's a very important point. You don't bring out your negative thoughts on this individual.
Right, because they were there just to install, and I thought, oh, I hope she's not out there, all over them, and she was not. She brought them water. I think she was just needing that problem
Right.
solved. And so we were finally there solving the problem.
And kudos to you, because I think, I try to protect my people and I try to share as much as I can with them so they're prepared when they go in to care for someone. But you could really have, I don't want to use the word tainted, I don't know a better
Right.
word, but you could have really colored or changed the dynamic by sharing.
Right.
And it would have had the opposite of what happened.
Because as soon as she would come out the door to ask them
They'd
for
be
water,
scared.
they'd be going, woo.
Yeah.
She's gonna yell at me.
Well,
Right.
that second part, they're treating others as if they're innocent. From your installer standpoint,
Yeah.
she was an innocent
Right.
person.
She was just another customer.
That's
Yeah.
right, and you
And they were
start
gonna
over
make her happy.
out there versus.
And they
like-
make everybody
Mary
happy,
Lou
so.
said, tainted, all of a
Right.
sudden, they're going out there in the slightest little episode.
That's right.
could really
And,
Yeah.
go
It
and
would
when
have
you
been heightened.
when you show up that way, regardless of what your experiences are,
Mhm.
because you show up differently, you change the dynamic
You do.
immediately.
Exactly.
You don't even have to say anything. I've witnessed where just by having that mindset, you've changed the whole dynamic of what's happening. Because if you're stressed, it comes out your pores.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
doesn't always come out in words. It comes out in your face, or your fists being clenched, or your teeth being clenched. People recognize it. They pick up on your vibe. And so have, even when you have baggage from a previous situation, doing that.
And honestly, I was scared to death for my guys. I was thinking, oh,
Yeah, the
they're walking
tendency would be
into
to protect
a
them, right?
minefield, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was another job to them, and I just needed to go
Good.
successfully.
That was well done.
And
Well,
she did.
We just wanted to thank you for going on this journey with us and taking a pause and spending this time on Talk Shop on something that during this time of fear and friction, having grace. Yes.
One of the things I'll say about this panel, when you see this, we have a tendency to forget. And when we get panels like this, are great reminders of how we should act towards other people, but it kind of brings things back, so the next time, oh, hey, I remember that, out the group ladies out there.
We hope so.
And
They told us to be
it's
nice.
kind of like a refresher course
Right.
on, how to really, I'll say, behave. Molecular,
Well,
but
I think
do like
too
I do like
that-
the idea of having grace is a great topic.
Well, and I think too, we live in a culture right now, this COVID fear and vaccines and not vaccine and, every restaurant you go in, there's signs now, please be nice to the ones that showed up,
Yeah.
like, please be nice. We just live in a different culture now, and I think
Yeah.
grace.
Why should you have to remind people that?
Right, please be nice, and there's signs everywhere, y'all see them just as much as I do.
Right.
You've got to be careful how you treat people, and I represent my name, and I represent my Lord, and I represent my family. I've got to be very careful, not to come
And
across.
we're sharing this not because we don't think anyone listening, needs to learn this as much as just be reminded and have it front and center, because we're all triggered.
Yeah.
We're easily triggered right now because of climate, whatever your beliefs are, there's competing beliefs and fear and friction in the world. Right. And so we think that's the best time to pause and take time for grace.
Well, how about giving these three young ladies?
Do you have any questions?
Good job, y'all.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I think this was just as beautiful because it is in everything going on right now. But with what y'all do, y'all are in environments that are so sensitive. And
Yes.
without the right mindset going in is huge, because it changes everything. It's like that automatic response. It goes back to that integrity. And I know
Right.
really well, Mary Lou and you.
Kelly
Me.
or Leanne?
I know that girl.
But I know the Inman family for a long time, and I know that their hearts are in the right place, but other people don't know that.
Right.
Right.
And you go in and make those actions and you're persistent, and we all are we're human. And our feelings hurts too, but it's
Right.
hard not to show those feelings.
Yeah.
Because I know, I can only imagine, it was probably gut-wrenching for you, Kelly, to hear what was going on. And so, but just to know y'all's integrity, that's priceless in itself.
I could share, and Tom will tell you, we could share a lot of stories. Because we're dealing with people at
In
their most
crisis.
vulnerable in crisis. And so we know that they're not showing up as their typical self. And so it's important we have grace every day.
Can I
Yes.
just make a comment? I've been going through some health issues with my foot, and I had to get all my new floors put in my house. And they said, well, you're gonna have to pack up everything except what's on the wall, everything on the floor, and move it out. And then we're gonna come in and put the new floors in, and then we're gonna have you come put all your stuff back. I'm like, there is no way. I called Lee and Morris at All Things New. And I'm telling y'all, we were so amazed. They came in, they were happy, they were organized, they got to it. They got it all done very neatly, stacked in boxes. And here's what's even more amazing. They came back a week later and put stuff back where it belonged. I'm like, wow. It was a real positive experience.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well,
Yeah,
well done, ladies.
We just want to invite anyone that has a need for any of the services that we have, or even other services having to do with care, because we obviously through Talk Shop and other places have a network of providers that we trust. So you can reach out to any one of us, and we'll be happy to refer people we know and we trust.
Y'all need to take this on the road. Everybody needs to hear it.
It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder.
Thank you. That's
Thank you.
sweet. Thank you.
You know,
Thank you, everyone.
One of the
Well,
things
there's
too is
video.
when you're on the road in Memphis, we just got back driving.
I had to turn the preacher down so I could
Yeah, that coming on back, and these people are just inching up there, and they're gonna cut in front of you, so you have to back off. But like you said, I gave them, what do you call that you gave them, a blessing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave them-
Blessed them.
I gave them
blessed
instead of
Bless them out instead.
Bless
You
you.
bless
Yeah.
them out.
You hurt my feelings.
But anyway, one more round of applause to you this lady. All right,
Couldn't do without my girls.
Oh,
right.
same, feel the same.
Joe, anything else you want to say?
Come up and then I'll bring you right up. Okay. All right, so thank y'all very much for coming, and thank you for you guys on Zoom. And does anybody have any announcements on Zoom or here in the room before we start to go into our breakout rooms?
I do, I have one.
What's Susan David, what's up?
We're gonna start having everybody take turns inviting people to talk shop. So I'll be calling one of y'all and saying, please invite some people, online or in person. You can't make meetings with people who don't show up.
Right, so invite them online, invite them by phone. This is an awesome opportunity, y'all, to build a stronger relationship with people that you want them to send you business. I've been doing one-on-ones with coffee, and I invite them to talk shop, and even if they don't come, I've got one more level of loyalty with that client that my competition does not have. So use talk shop for your good. All right, so at this point, we're going to go into the breakout rooms. I want to say,
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
I need to make an announcement about the upcoming newsletter.
Okay.
A number of you have not sent me your article, and I can't showcase you if I don't have your article. So please send it my way.
Janelle Holloway, yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we've all got that. Good to see you, Brett. Yes.